station, Vicinity 95.3 FM, Ikejile, Ijesha.
Welcome to the heartbeat of the city. We have the rhythm of the streets. Vicinity FM 95.3.
In the state of believing spring.
This is Vicinity 95.3 FM, Ikejile, Ijesha. I am Oluwafunke Israel with news nationwide. First, headlines. House of Representatives withdraw mandatory voting bill. Your government pays 5 billion naira to Osun to retain Lautech University sole ownership. In Saudi Arabia, authorities block Islamic cleric Sheikh Gumi from 2025 Hajj exercise. Now the news in full. The Speaker of the House of Representatives, Abbas Tajuddin, has announced the withdrawal of the bill seeking to amend the Electoral Act 2022 to make voting mandatory for all eligible citizens. Special Advisor on Media and Publicity to the Speaker, Musa Krishi, in a statement made available to newsmen on Monday, said the decision followed extensive consultations with stakeholders. The bill, co-sponsored with member representing Bassa Jos North Federal Constituency Daniel Ago, according to Tajuddin, was introduced with the best intentions to bolster civic engagement and strengthen the country's democracy by encouraging higher voter turnout, given the notable successes recorded in countries where voting is made mandatory. Now it helps sustain participation rates above 90%. The Speaker of the House, however, rescinded the decision, saying rather than compel participation, he was committed to exploring positive incentives and innovative approaches that would make voting more attractive. Officials of the Federal Capital Territory have sealed off the building housing the National Secretariat of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, in Abuja on Monday over unpaid ground and tenancy rent. The Federal Inland Revenue Service building was also part of the structure sealed by authorities. Meanwhile, during the exercise, officials of the FCT administration and staff of the Federal Inland Revenue Service had a face-off over the sealing up of the agency's property located in Zone 5 Wuse. FCT's Directors of Land, Chijuke Mwakweze, said the building occupied by the FRSC is part of the 4,974 properties whose land titles was revoked by the administration.
Ugariki 1 and 2, Wuse 1 and 2, Asokoro, Maitama and Kusape districts. These 4,794 properties were among the total of 8,375 land titles on which ground rent was not paid from 1 year to 43 years. We did say then that consequent upon the revocation of these titles, ownership of these affected properties are reverted to the Federal Capital Territory Administration, FCTA. Therefore, as from Monday, May 26, 2025, the FCTA will begin to take possession of the affected properties using relevant agencies of the government.
Recall in March, FCT administration embarked on an enforcement exercise to seal up over 4,700 properties due to non-payment of ground rent for 10 years, losing over 6 billion naira revenue to non-compliance by property owners. Federal government has inaugurated a 12-member ministerial committee to oversee the rehabilitation and allocation of a 753 units recovered housing estate in local Goma, Abuja, formerly linked to ex-Central Bank Governor Godwin Emefiele. The estate handed over by the FCC on President Tinubu's directive will be transformed into affordable, secure homes under the renewed Hope agenda. Housing Minister Ahmed Dangiwa pressed on the importance of transparency and results, while the committee, led by Permanent Secretary Shoaib Begore, has been given 4 weeks to present a preliminary report. The task is to assess the estate's condition, estimating infrastructure costs, and devise a fair housing allocation strategy. The project aims to serve as a model for turning recovered assets into public benefits infrastructure. Now, though State Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa approved the rehabilitation of 102 primary health centers to enhance healthcare services across the state, Aiyedatiwa made the remarks at the opening ceremony of the 5-day Ondo State Maternal and Newborn Mortality Reduction Innovation and Initiative Co-Creation Workshop held in Akure, the state capital, on Monday. The governor, represented by the Special Advisor on Health Matters, Simi Odumayo, reiterated his administration's commitment to reducing child and maternal mortality through ongoing health sectors reforms. He also commended the health teams as well as other agencies for their dedication to the initiative, reaffirming Ondo State's participation as a collective commitment to protecting the lives of women and children in our communities in the state. Oyo State has paid a sum of 5 billion naira to Osun State's counterpart in full compliance with the agreement on sole ownership of the Ladoke Akintola University, Gbomosho. The Commissioner for Information and Orientation, Dotun Ilade, made this known in a press release on Monday. He noted that the full payment should be settled before the end of the Sheyi Makinde-led administration in 2027. The Commissioner recalled that both states struck a deal on November 20, 2020 to cede Lautech to Oyo State. Since the takeover, the institution has reportedly grown in leaps and bounds, reclaiming its position as the best state university in the country. This is Vicinity 95.3 FM, Nikejile Ijesha. News nationwide will continue shortly. Thanks for staying tuned for news updates and live streaming. Visit our website at vicinity953fm.com.ng or send an email to vicinitinewsroom@gmail.com or call 081-4365-8302 for breaking news around you. You can also follow us on Facebook, YouTube and TikTok at Vicinity 95.3 FM. Now the rest of the news. Following criticism circulating on social media on the recent enforcement operations by National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, the agencies defended the recent exercise at Onitsha Bridge and Market, Alhambra, in a viral video by an influencer, Martins Ose, popularly called Very Dark Man. Alleged NAFDAC demanded 700,000 from each shop owner as a condition to reopen the shops after they were shut down. Reacting to the claims, the agency Director General, Professor Mojisola Adeyeye, clarified the enforcement conducted between February and March targeted unregistered, expired and substandard falsified medicines and controlled substances, which resulted in the seizure and destruction of medicines valued at over 1 trillion naira in Lagos, Aba, and Onitsha. NAFDAC emphasized that traders who complied with regulatory requirements have been permitted to resume businesses, with over 2,500 traders and 3,500 shops operational since March 19. However, the 700,000 naira claim or bribe was not addressed. The Saudi Arabian authorities blocked the Kaduna-based Islamic cleric Sheikh Gumi from performing the 2025 Hajj exercise. In a post on his Facebook page on Monday, the cleric confirmed he had returned to the country as Saudi authorities were uncomfortable with his presence in the Holy Land for some obvious reasons on his views on world politics, despite having issued him a visa. He also disclosed the Nigerian authorities had pledged to take up the issues with the Saudi authorities while calling for prayers for the safe return for the pilgrims. Over 30 people have been killed in Mungalalao, Taraba State after suspected herders attacked the farming community over the weekend. The violence reportedly sparked by dispute over missing cattle involved gunfire and arson, leaving many injured and homes destroyed. Locals blamed delayed security response and suspect land grabbing as the underlying motive. Governor Abu Kefas condemned the attack and promised to bring the perpetrators to book as calls intensify for humanitarian support for displaced residents. A bit of sport, Ogun State's men's football team defeated the Golden Eaglets 2-1 in the semi-final of the 2024 National Sport Festival, earning a place in the final against Kwara State, who edged Kaduna 1-0. The final will be held at the MKO Abiola Sports Complex in Abeokuta May 27. In the women's semi-finals, Ogun lost to Flamingos, Nigeria's under-17 team. We will now face Delta State winners over Osun in the finals. The third place men's match will feature Kaduna and the Golden Eaglets. The women's bronze fixture is yet to be decided. And news nationwide, another look at the headlines. Speaker of the House of Representatives, Abbas Tajuddin, has announced the withdrawal of the bill seeking to amend Electoral Act 2022 to make voting mandatory for all eligible citizens. It will do that your state paid a sum of 5 billion naira to the Osun State government in full compliance with the agreement on sole ownership of the Ladoke Akintola University in Ogbomoso. And lastly, you heard the Saudi Arabian authorities blocked the Kaduna-based Islamic cleric Sheikh Gumi from performing the 2025 Hajj exercise. And just before we go, the last line: every day is an opportunity. Do not misuse it. That was News Nationwide on behalf of production crew. I am Oluwafunke Israel. Thanks for listening. Good evening.
Welcome to the heartbeat of the city. We have